to think about someone you admire. Okay, that person is you. And now I want you to think about why. Why do you admire this person? What qualities do they have that make you admire them so much? Maybe they are assertive, ambitious. Maybe they are caring, gentle, nurturing. We are very fortunate to live in a progressive part of the world where these characteristics, these qualities are not limited to your gender or your biological sex. But these characteristics have been known to be associated with a specific sex. So the qualities on the left, they are known to be masculine. The qualities on the right are usually known to be feminine. So I got curious about why these qualities are associated with a specific sex. And of course, as a biologist, I want to know if biology could answer this question. First, we have to know what is the biological definition of male and female. So the biological definition of male and female depends on the size of the sex cells they make. Okay. So male individuals make very small sex cells or gametes, such as the sperm. Females make relatively larger gametes, such as the egg cell. So, what does the size of gametes somebody make have anything to do with their behavior? To understand this, we have to first agree that we have to know what is our biological purpose. Okay, so the biological purpose of all living things, including humans, is to reproduce and pass on their DNA. Okay, so we are all designed biologically to reproduce and pass on DNA. Right. So like I said, males make very, very small gametes. And because they're very small, they are biologically quite cheap to make. So very often, the gametes are made in very large amount, they're made in abundance. So since there's an excess, why not make full use of it and achieve its biological purpose? And because of this, male individuals try to mate with as many female individuals as possible so that they can pass on, they can reproduce and pass on their DNA. As a result, biologically, males should be promiscuous, okay, because they want to mate with as many individuals as possible. Now, at the same time, they also want to make sure that if they mate with a female, the female will only help them to carry their child and pass on their DNA. So that means the males have to compete with other males. Okay? They have to compete with other males, they have to be aggressive so that they can make sure that the females they mate with only mate with them, only pass on their DNA. Okay. Now let's look at the females. So, like I mentioned, females make relatively larger gametes, and they're usually highly nutritious. That's why you have them for breakfast. You might have had eggs today. So, because they're highly nutritious and also they're large, very often, so they are biologically costly to make, very expensive to make egg cells. So very often they make them in very few quantities. For example, human female only release one egg each month. And because it's so expensive for females to make the egg, very often they are very protective of their young. And also don't forget that the females would have to carry their young as well, and they have to go through pregnancy and gestation. Because of this cost in reproduction for the females, they want to make sure that they mate with the best mates. Okay? Because they're very protective of their young. Usually females are caring, they're nurturing, they're sensitive. But because they want to choose, they have to choose to mate with only the best male individuals. They're also very picky. Okay? So in summary, male individuals, they have to compete with other males to win the females and prove that they are the best. So females have to mate with them, and the females have to be really careful to choose and mate with only the best males. This situation is what we call sexual selection. So the females are making the selection, and the males are subjected to sexual selection. Because of sexual selection, this leads to a phenomenon called sexual dimorphism, which means males and females in the same species look very different. For example, peacocks and peahens, if you don't know the name of the females, peacocks and peahens, they look very different. The males usually have very elaborated tails because they want to attract the attention of the females and say that they are the best. And the females look like a boy. But if you look at the natural world, not all species are sexually dimorphic. For example, penguins, they are what we call sexual monomorphic, which means males and females of the same species look very similar. But hang on a second. All throughout this talk, I've just been telling you that males and females, they're defined by their gamete size. Because they make different size gametes, they behave differently, so they look different. So why is it that there are species like the penguins that look the same across males and females? So I thought about what I have overlooked here. And as it turns out, the provision of parental care plays a very huge role in this. Okay? So provision of taking care of their young plays a really big part. So if the males and females of the same species provide child care, provide parental care equally, they look very similar. Okay, such as in the case of seabirds, the picture in the middle. Because males and females both provide parental care, they look very similar because they are both subjected to sexual selection. They both have the right to choose who they want to mate with. So if males and females of the same species do not provide equal parental care, then they end up looking very different. Take the case of peacocks and peahens again, for example. Females provide more parental care. They take care of their young, whereas the males do not. Because of this, it only makes sense that females have the right to choose who they want to mate with. So the male peacocks, they are subjected to sexual selection. And that means the males have to be attractive to win the hearts of the peahens. Because of this, the peacocks have got very elaborate tails. In some cases, the roles are reversed. In the case of redneck fellows. So the males actually are the ones providing parental care, whereas the females provide very little. And because of that, the females are the ones that looks really attractive. Because now the males get to choose which females they want to mate with. And now, going back to the title of my talk, should men provide parental care? To answer this question, we first have to decide which category do humans fall into. Do males and females of our species look similar enough for us to say that they are sexually monomorphic? If they do, then I think the answer is quite clear. Okay? So according to biology, men should provide parental care, but whatever gender identity you have, you should also provide parental care if you have children. Thank you for listening.